Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening. I posted a couple hours ago that I would be going live today, and this was before I had actually sat down and watched the Red Table Talk. And I kept my post about what other people do in their relationships and their marriages to a minimum, because that ain't got nothing to do with me. But I've been on lives now for maybe 6, 7, 8 weeks, talking about showing up for yourself and in your relationships. Hey Kente, hey Cam. And so relationship topics are not something that I shy away from, and so that's why I chose to come on this live today in light of that, to talk about relationship goals. Now, y'all want to walk with me like y'all were a couple of days ago, so I will have to pause occasionally to cross the street, because I told y'all I'm not about to die on the live. But anywho, so I finally sat down and watched this live, this Red Table Talk, if you will. Now let me give my little disclaimer. I ain't in no relationship. I ain't never been married, but I know how to do relationship. Relationship isn't just romantic in marriage. Relationship is mother-daughter, coworker, employer. Relationships cover a myriad of things. So you either get relationships or you don't. You either put in the work in relationships or you don't. So that's my disclaimer. I always try to give y'all my 2 copper coins so y'all know how to spend them. You can take it or you can leave it. But I feel like, and this is most humans in the world who are not celebrities or entertainers, we idolize. You are absolutely right, Can say host and co-host. We have a working relationship. And that's one of the important ones. I love podcasting. So anywho, we idolize, we put people on pedestals, we hashtag relationship goals when we see people's Snapchats, when we see people's snapshots of their lives, when we see them on red carpets. It's about to rain, but we're going to do this live anyway. When we see people's lives in a still photo or a red carpet moment or a award ceremony acceptance speech, and we're like, oh, that's hashtag goals. That's hashtag relationship goals. And there's a danger in that. And there's a danger in that because we don't know what happens behind those closed doors. We don't know what kind of work goes into making that relationship work. A lot of us take selfies on a regular and consistent basis. And how many do you take before you actually post the one you really like? So would it be no different when they post an image or a candid or a photo on the internet for likes and shares and hashtag relationship goals? Would it be any different? They could have been cussing each other out. They could have been dismissive to one another. They could have said things out of anger and spite about a relationship. Whoa, sorry, I'm crossing the street. I ain't trying to become pate on the ground for not paying attention and being safe. And we don't see those things. We don't see people's human decisions. We don't see people's selfish conversations. We don't see people's hard work, because everybody doesn't have bad relationships either, even in the good pictures that we see on the internet. But the mistake that we give ourselves, which we gotta stop, is causing someone else's ideal of a relationship to be the goal for ourselves. We don't know their whole relationship. We can't even begin to assume that the whole relationship is good, or that we even would want it once we found out what the whole relationship looked like. Oh, y'all, it's about to rain. And so, look, let me stand under this palm tree for a minute. Find me a twig or something. And so, the one thing that I took from the Red Table Talk, and this is the only thing from that talk that I will ever address about it, because everything else ain't got nothing to do with Shannon. I don't believe in not calling a spade, so it's not an entanglement. So I thought that whole statement was funny. But the one thing that I want to discuss and bring up was when Will said to Jada, remember when I told you I could love you through anything? And I was just having this conversation with a friend who I'm going to do a live with or a conversation with next week on relationships. That is important to me, what he said, because in essence, love covers a multitude of sin, which means I can rock with you through anything. Now, before y'all start getting up in arms, oh, what if he abused me? What if he cheat? What if she do this? What if she do that? Let me say this. I can rock with you through anything by choice. Will I choose to stay with you if you abuse me? Probably not. Will I choose to stay with you if you cheat on me? Probably not. But the choice I make to love you, knowing my own understanding of what love is in my own life, gives me the choice to stay through anything, love you through anything. People think that when they see other people's relationships, that there is no worse, there's only better. There is no poor, there's only rich. That is the false hope that we have for other people that we shouldn't have. Those relationships require work, time, investment of. They just require so much that we're not willing to look at, oh, this snapshot is just that, a snapshot. Yeah, they come and show up and they look elegant and they got money and they got this, that, or the other. But they real people with real problems, just like you and I. And they have to make decisions to show up even when they don't like who they're loving, even when that person is not lovable. Trying to debate if it's gonna pour or not, because if it's not, if it's just gonna be a steady, we gonna walk this thing, because I do hard things, y'all. We're gonna try. We're gonna get to the next palm tree. So yeah, we have to stop holding people hostage to these false images, these false gods, if you will, as if they are the end all be all for relationships. They're not. And then when they do come to the table of reckoning, i.e. this red table today, i.e. this journey that discussed an entanglement, we justify. Let's just be honest. I don't care if you're single. I don't care if you're single. I don't care if you're married. But here's the thing I do know. In marriage, you can be legally separated, but I guarantee you are still legally married. Find a lie. So it is what it is. So when he called her on the carpet about an entanglement, just say you had a whole relationship, because that's what it is. That's transparency and authenticity. Even when your ish is jacked up, even when your stuff ain't right, we got to be honest about those things. Sometimes we do stuff out of our humanness, out of our flesh. And I think this is for all of us. Sometimes we look for happiness in other people instead of trying to find it in ourselves, because happiness is really an inside job. Happiness is really about what is happening in your life. So happiness is subject to change. Happiness comes with a return policy, because if it's not happening the way you want it to, you may not be happy right now. I'm not happy right now because I got to take my glasses off, but I can't see with wet glasses. But we're going to do this work. We're going to do this thing. And so what we're looking for in other people is a peace, a transparency. And sometimes if you're doing that thing right, you're looking for a mirror. You're looking for somebody to hold the mirror up to you and say, sis, you're not lovable right now. Sis, your wholeness is not right. It's not together. Something about you is just off. But I'm going to love you through this process so we can come out better on top. That's what a relationship looks like. Because you got to do hard things, even in a relationship, because you do hard things in relationship with yourself. I said that a couple of days ago. We got to be willing to do hard things. And I hate that we are a society that eats up these false images of what a relationship is supposed to look like. and how a relationship is supposed to appear on social media. Relationships are supposed to be whatever you and that person make it. And we gonna stop making it other people's business. Who's in the relationship? According to society, it's Jada, Will, and 8.1 million people. As Will said, Black Twitter made it their business. No, y'all allowed Black Twitter to make it your business, or make it their business. We gotta stop letting our relationships be dictated by what other people think and other people assume and other people converse about. I'm in a relationship with you and you alone. I don't care what nobody else say. How we do this relationship depends on how we do this relationship. I'm not asking Nene and them what I should do with you when you don't act right. I'm not asking my mama and them if I should keep you if I don't like a decision that you made. We have to get honest about having these hard conversations with each other even when we don't like it. Because those are relationship goals. You got to build some things even when you break them. Hold on, y'all, I got to cross the street and I ain't got my glasses on. So yeah, relationship goals. Hashtag relationship goals. Now I know I got a couple of people on my Facebook who idolize Will and Jada, and that's your business. I just feel like we should challenge ourselves to be our own goals. I feel like we should just challenge ourselves to get around some good, honest reflections of things we do truly desire. Because everybody who thinking, oh, it's so cute, they got an open relationship, don't want one for themselves. Well, I'm glad that's them and not me. So what we're really saying is, I am glad that it's them and it's not me. But I wouldn't want that for myself. I wouldn't be able to handle that myself. And maybe you do handle it. Maybe you got old boy or old girl cheating on you with everybody in Kids Stash and Shopko somewhere. But the difference is your business ain't out in the streets at the magnitude that theirs just was. Now, some of y'all business is out in the street and you don't know it. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Because some of y'all allow that. Again, mind who you talk to. Mind your tribe. Mind your business. Mind your manners. Because that's part of the problem. We tell everybody everything. And the people in your boat ain't rowing with you. They not rowing with you and they not growing with you. What they doing is they throwing stones, poking holes, watching you and waiting for you to sink, waiting to say I told you so, maybe waiting to take over your relationship because they think you ungrateful, a myriad of things. So we need to mind who is in our circle, mind who we share our relationships with, and mind who we idolize about relationship goals. I know some dope people that's been married, but they'll tell you it is not all roses without thorns. They'll tell you it's hard work. They'll tell you there have been times where they wanted to throw in the towel and walk away. And there have been times where they have stepped away from each other for a season and for a time. But it all still comes down to a choice. What are you choosing? Are you going to choose to pursue this thing? Are you going to choose to stay in the game of this relationship? Are you going to choose to be the very goals that you hashtag in somebody else? Because God is not a one-hit wonder. If you like somebody's relationship that much, create that kind of relationship for yourself. But there's got to be two people actively choosing that for each other. You can't be the only one in a relationship wanting to be a hustler and making money and empowered and an entrepreneur, and the other person is wanting to be still and stagnant. That's not going to work. And then instead of you talking to them about it because they delayed, you're talking to your coworker about it, and now you in a whole nother situationship, aka 2020's word, entanglement, because I know y'all gonna eat that word up for the rest of the year. We gotta make decisions about who we hashtagging. Ourselves. And if you're not your own goals, like I said a couple of days ago, change it. You have the power to be whatever you desire to be that you're gonna put the effort and work towards. Period. We give ourselves not enough to go ahead and be excellent. We excuse it for every other thing because other people are doing it and like, oh, well, I can't get there. Of course you can. You might have to do more work because they're already there. But if that's all they amount to, you can go further because that may not be enough for you. That's no different in relationships. That may not be enough for you. So you may break up with somebody after you find out they were separated from you and they was dating somebody else, in a whole relationship with somebody else. And we also got to be bigger people to stop preying on vulnerable people. And yeah, I'm going to say that. Unpopular opinion. That man was vulnerable. We got to stop preying on vulnerable people. And yeah, that whole cliche, hurt people, and blah, blah, blah. At some point, you got to own it and say, I'm a part of the problem here. It's not all love. Because that's not what love does. That's not what love is. It's not all love. In the moment, that was brokenness. In the moment, that was hurtfulness. In the moment, that was resentment for a possible failed marriage. In the moment, that was your flesh because you thought so-and-so could lay the pipe. That was not all love. We got to stop making excuses or pit-patting the answers and saying this is what it is now that all the skeletons then came dancing, twerking out the closet. Because they sure came out to a party from the closet to tell all their little secrets, lay all their secrets bare. Hurt people do hurt people, but they don't have to. Hurt people can choose to sit the game out, get the healing that they need, and then truly be relationship goals. Truly be the fruit of the hard work and labor that they put into that relationship for the goal that they desire. You can absolutely heal from what hurt you in the hurt of that relationship. Y'all can find healing in that. But that too requires work. That too requires you to deny yourself, attack any things that you feel, whether it's ego, pride, hurt, guilt, the stain of shame or whatever, inadequacies, all the things that rise up. But anything worth having requires us to work for it. So I don't understand why we spend so much time idolizing and wanting to emulate snapshots of what we see in other people when they've had a lifetime to try to figure this thing out. I just don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you are new to me, you know good and well I don't know a lot about a lot, but I am passionate about a lot of things. And my passion lies in restorative and redemptive relationships. And I do believe that you can make an honest decision. You and you alone can make a decision to stay in something even when everybody else tells you to leave. Some people may consider it stupid. Some people may think you're crazy. Some people may, but that's not their vision for the life that you want. You have to have a vision for your own life. And you have to be audacious enough to live it even when everybody else thinks you're crazy. So if they want to stay together, if they want to make it work, if they want to figure this thing out, if they want to be entangled in the webs that we all weave, because we do, own it, live it, do better from it, that's their business. They are not your goals. You are your own goals. You are your own goals unfolding. You are your own goals envisioned and dreaming, and now you just got to dare to live them out loud. Show up in the relationship you're currently in. Have those hard conversations. Love without delay. Don't hold everything to the stain of your ego and your pride because you're so used to people agreeing with you. It's okay to have conversations and not agree. It's okay to be wrong and be humble enough to admit that you're wrong. And then do something differently so you won't keep being wrong. It's okay to fail. Sometimes we get it wrong. I've seen people marry, divorce, and remarry. Love does cover a multitude of sin, but you still got to be ready to put in the work for it. You still got to show up. You still got to choose that person every single day. And if days are too much for you, you got to choose them every single hour. Because they may be getting on your nerves in this very minute. You still have to decide, okay, I'm going to show up for them. I'm going to choose them. because that's what I desire. That's what I want for myself. We're going to stand under another tree because I need to clean my glasses. Oh, Lord. Hold on, people. But yeah, so I think we have got to get around the conversation of not being so stuck on making other people goals. Other people are not your goals. Other people may have things that you can pull into your own relationship. Other people may have lessons, journeys, snippets, nuggets, sage advice and wisdom that they can add to your life so that you can learn what to do or what not to do. But they, in and of themselves, and of what they post, and even of what you see, because we are not in other people's relationship unless you are, and if you are, that's your business. I'm a mind my own, mind the business that pays me. But you have the desire and the right and the choice to become your own goals, to meet the needs of your own relationship, to show up for yourself. You have the right to do that. Not be hung up on what everyone else is doing. Not being so stuck on someone else's indecision. That's their marriage. It may even be their divorce. That ain't got nothing to do with you, bruh. And that ain't got nothing to do with you, sis. Wish them well on their journey. Say a prayer if you feel so inclined. And move the hell out the way. And do your own thing. Be your own goals. Be in the relationships that you want and you desire and you need. So that you can foster other relationships that other people desire and want and need with you. So that they can say, oh yeah, we're goals. We've done the work. We've made it work. We continue to put in the work. Because you don't arrive just because your relationship is good right now. You will go through something. We all do. Y'all, this is love. I'm out here in this rain. And I'm like, ooh, somebody is cooking brownies. They smell so good. My inner fat girl is like, yo, why you didn't give me no invitation to the brownie party? But there might be some special brownies. I need to stop. So, yeah. That's really all I got, y'all. I'm not pressed by anyone's relationship. I will say, from my own experience, from people I know and I love, I didn't grow up with good relationships. My mother was never married. My aunt is divorced. My uncle is married. My grandparents are still married and they're in their 90s. But apart from them, my pastor growing up as a child, I don't have a whole lot of examples of good, restorative, redemptive relationships. So I never really had an impressed upon spirit that said, oh, I need to emulate, or those are relationship goals. But what I have pulled from relationships, and this is a little short story. When I moved to Dallas, when I was getting ready to go to seminary, I joined a church. I was in a radius group. For those that don't know, a radius group is like a life group, short story. And I was the only, I kid you not, there were probably 7 or 8 married couples. I was the only single person. Now, instead of being embarrassed or frustrated or like, woe is me, God, why am I in here with all these married people? Is it just a reminder that I'm not lovable and nobody wants me? I wasn't doing all that foolishness. Nor was I one of those people that said, oh, these are goals. What I saw was days when they weren't lovable. What I saw was the stain of addiction. What I saw was the expense of being unemployed and not being able to find work. What I saw was putting in the effort, showing up in the worst and not just the better, showing up when we were poor and not just rich. The fruit of that life group, that season where I was with these people for years, watching their marriages fall apart and come back together, it ministered to me. Lessons were learned. conversations were had, restoration happened, and there were hard things that each one of them had to do, but without fail, they chose to show up for each other. That's the only goal I want to take from them. They chose to show up for each other, even when they didn't want to, even when it was difficult, even when they weren't lovable. Because let's just be honest, some of us don't realize our stuff stinks. And when the person who loves us shows us that, it's a hard pill to swallow. Because you're so used to people telling you or agreeing with you, even when you know you're wrong. And sometimes people just agree with you to get you to shut the hell up. Just saying. I ask me how I know. You start supervising people and you're just like, oh, okay, now shut up. Because it's like, I'm not saying this because I want you to keep talking. I'm saying this because I want you to shut up, so that you can stop talking. Because you're not talking about, you saying a whole lot of words, but you're not saying much of anything. So, yeah, that's all I got. As y'all can tell, it's getting a little more dangerous out in these streets. My glass is about to be fully wet. And I am far from a palm tree. So, thank you for stopping by my TED Talk. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. A beautiful Friday evening. I'm so glad that I was able to come on here to show out and show up for myself, because I have another 20 minutes or so before I get back home, and I'm gonna walk in this rain, put my phone away though, walk in this rain and make sure that y'all do something that shows who you are and shows you showing up for who you are. Don't fall for anybody else's goals. Be your own. If I say nothing else, be your own relationship goals. All right, y'all didn't see me at my worst today, all wet and exasperated, because when I can't see, it's rough out in these streets. So I'm gonna go. I will see y'all on Sunday as promised and planned, long as the creek don't rise. And given this rain, the creek might rise, so y'all be with me. Pray over me. Yeah, but go out and be your own goals, people. That's what's more important than being somebody else's. All right, I love y'all. Be safe out in them streets. I'll check in when I get back home. Hopefully I won't melt away, because this is getting worse. All right, bye.